Welcome to the Kegel Show. My name is Don Agent. I want to thank all of you for taking time today to tune in. Very excited to introduce two fascinating up-and-coming young bowlers that represent the Weber men's team here in Lake Wales, Florida. They train at the Kegel training facility. We've got Aaron Yuratovich and Giorgio Clinaz. Now, we're going to try to cover quite a few different topics about not only your experiences, bowling here, but also abroad. But I want to kind of start out with, where you guys are from, okay? So, Aaron, where actually is your hometown?
I'm originally from Olathe, Kansas.
Olathe, Kansas,
yeah.
Okay. And you ended up, before you moved here, where were you living at that point?
There.
Olathe?
Yeah,
okay.
yep. I've been there my whole life.
The whole life? Yep. Perfect, wonderful. How far do you think that is from there to the training center?
A drive, about 22 hours.
All right. We're going to bring up a question here in a little bit. Giorgio, you're a little bit farther south, buddy. In fact, you're on another continent.
Yes,
so where's your hometown?
It's Valencia, Venezuela.
Fantastic.
Yes, that's around. If you fly from Miami, it would be a 4 hours drive to Miami to the airport, and then 3.5 hours to Venezuela, to Caracas, and then 2 hours to Valencia, to my home city.
Fantastic. So first of all, which one of you thinks you live farther from the training center?
Well, if I would take just a
as the crow flies, not driving, as the crow flies. So.
I would say that I'm a little.
He's probably a little farther.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's not that much. To be honest with you, Aaron is 1,210 miles from the training facility, and Giorgio is 1,451 miles. So only a couple of 100 miles difference, but still a long ways for you guys to travel to come down to this wonderful college in a very small community. Ironically enough, we have somebody that travels even farther that's on the team as well. They are from the United States, and that's Austin, and he hails from Hawaii. That's 2,889 miles, so that's pretty good commitment to get down here to bowl, obviously. You know what, Giorgio, I'm going to start out with this question that both of y'all answer. I'm going to address you first. Out of all the colleges you could have attended, your skill set's pretty good, obviously. You had many choices. What brought you here? What brought you to Lake Wales? What brought you to Weber? Kind of give me the story.
Honestly, I think it was Kegel Training Center, because when I was younger, I didn't know anything about college bowling. I didn't know anything about United States itself, how to live here, and anything.
Sure.
But I heard a lot of Kegel Training Center. Everybody who came here to practice and how awesome it was, and their experiences and how better they got. So I actually I was traveling with my team, with a national team. We were in a Central American Games.
Okay.
And I got to meet Dale Warren.
Excellent.
He was a coach at the moment from Dominican Republic. And I got to meet him, and I got the opportunity to ask him about the school. And we started to talk about it, and I finally came here.
Too cool.
It was pretty much the only option that I had in my mind.
How long have you been bowling?
I started to bowl when I was 6 years old, but it was just on the weekends with my family. And then I started to get a little bit more serious. When I was 12, I joined an academy that we have back home, and I started to bowl a little bit. I was a lot into soccer, so I was splitting it.
Sure.
Pretty much. It was between bowling and soccer. And when I turned 15, 16, I started to be.
You got hardcore, started to get
100%
competitive.
with bowling.
Fantastic. Aaron, I'm going to throw the same question to you. What, you obviously from the United States. You had an attraction to probably multiple universities here that you could have went to. What brought you down this way?
Well, it was funny because I visited most of the big schools. I visited, all the big name colleges.
Wichita, McHenry, those types of universities. Okay.
My situation was kind of different because I was pretty good. I would consider myself a pretty good player, but I knew I wasn't really to the level I needed to be. I was pretty honest with myself, and I said I can't beat, the best players regularly. So I knew I needed to come somewhere where I could get better, and I knew I could get better at the Kegel Training Center. I just knew it, from everything that I heard. So really, that was what drew me. And then when I came down here, the people just opened up their arms to me, and really made it feel like a place I wanted to be every day.
I'm glad to hear that, because obviously we consider you all part of our extended family here, and we have a lot of fun together, and you guys have helped out during a lot of different situations with lunches and Christmas parties and all of that. How long have you been bowling?
Pretty much my whole life. I pretty much grew up in a bowling center. I was
Rock
pretty
and
much
roll.
there every day after school. I'd beg my mom to take me and then come pick me up. I pretty much grew up there from when I was 3, 4, 5 years old.
Great place to be. I mean, that was kind of my starting point as well. You
Yeah.
know, I got hooked on it bowling with my father, and then all of a sudden I saw equipment and ventured to another side from a mechanical standpoint. But all right, let's go with this one, Aaron. We're going to start with you on this question. What does it feel like for you personally when you guys come together as a team to compete?
I mean, it's just so effortless, really. I mean, we saw it a lot last year, winning the national championship. We really we fired on all cylinders. Everybody was just so there, and it's, you don't even need to speak words, really. I mean, you just kind of function as a well-oiled machine. Everything works, it's easy, and we have a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's one thing, we have a lot of fun.
You guys have a lot of camaraderie
Absolutely.
there, obviously. I mean, you just don't come together bowl and then don't see each other or talk to
Absolutely.
each other for the rest of the day. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's, to me, true definition of a team, a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and interpret what's going on.
Yeah.
The next person knows what needs to be done. Giorgio, how about yourself? I mean, what are your feelings essentially? Because you've competed on a national level with, representing your country. I wasn't sure if you had done Team USA or anything yet, so you've got a few different experiences, but what is that feeling for you when you come here and compete as a team together?
Well, the atmosphere is totally different. I don't know how to explain it, how to put it in words, but it's just like you get to know so much about the team, that all those 8 guys, the whole program, that you actually enjoy every single moment of it. Even if it's on or off the lanes, even if you're bowling at the moment and you are just supporting the team, you actually enjoy every single moment. It's because it's totally different. And when you represent the country, you're trying to do the best for your country, but
Correct.
you might not know every single person that well. Here is like we are together the whole week. We hang out together. We eat together. We see each other in the school every day. So you get to build a relationship with each person so well. So you get to know so well everybody that it actually feels, it is awesome. It feels like how Edward said, effortless. You don't need to try to make it up. You don't need to try to fit with somebody. It just happens that we bowl together, we have fun together, and we actually we do it pretty well. It's so easy to bowl with each other. You learn
and I
so
think
much.
I think one of the coolest moments talking about that was last year. Both the men's team and the women's team made TV, but
I remember that.
our match went to a second match, so we bowled maybe a couple hours longer. When we made TV, we have a group chat with the whole team, so we said we made TV, and about half the team was already on the road, driving all night to come watch us bowl the next day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fan, and that's what it's about. I mean, that's true teamwork.
Yeah.
I mean, excellent. What? All right, Giorgio, I'll start with you on this one. Even though you've both kind of, said some amazing things about the training center. I mean, I'm somewhat biased because I live here as well, and this has been a part of me and a lot of us here at Kegel for a long time. But how would you specifically rate the coaching staff here?
Incredible. I think that I've never experienced this kind of professionalism in any other part. I've been working with coaches before back in Venezuela, but it has never been this high level.
To this level, yeah. How about yourself?
I think the best part about the coaching staff is there's so many coaches, number one, but kind of depending on what you're looking for, you can get something different from every coach. Just based on style. I mean, I consider, although we have a big coaching staff, it's very diverse.
Sure.
I mean, every coach, one
Rick's
coach,
got his specialty.
Absolutely.
Ruben's got his.
We've got
Dell,
field
Randy.
coaches, physical coaches, really technical coaches, and really whatever you need on that day, or kind of what you're working on, you can always find somebody, and they're always willing to help you, no matter what.
You'd agree they're a pretty good team themselves,
Absolutely.
obviously, as well.
Absolutely.
So, fantastic. All right, let's get to maybe some fun, interesting questions. Aaron, we'll start with you. Who was your ultimate favorite bowler or someone that you looked up to growing up?
I think Norm Duke.
Great answer.
Honestly,
he's
just
fantastic.
Yeah,
guy.
I mean,
he
just
really is. There's a lot of them, but definitely that.
Yeah, and I think aside
answer.
from him being an amazing player, just the kind of person he is. There's not many people when they make TV they start to cry, and you really get a sense for who he is as a person, you know. And just a couple weeks ago now, when he made the U.S. Open show, I mean, he's in the back crying.
Yeah.
You know, and he's made the most shows out of all the guys on the show twice over.
It tells you kind of what type of human being he is.
It tells you his character.
I've spent a lot of time, been very lucky to spend time with him off lanes and in social environments and sometimes at trade shows, and he's just a wonderful human being.
Yeah, and I mean, you never get the sense that he's hurtful ever. And I mean, in our industry, it's easy to be negative sometimes, and he just is so uplifting. Yep. You know, he's one of those people that you can tell he's got a really good heart.
Rock and roll. Giorgio, how about you? Same question.
Well,
who'd you look up to?
Since I was a kid, as a Venezuelan, I always look up to Bamleto.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
great choice.
yeah,
Another great guy there,
He has
too.
been always like
They were both from the same
a
era.
role model. So he has been always somebody to look up to, and I actually had the opportunity to bowl with him. So it was kind of like a dream come true when I actually got to represent my country and bowl with him at the same time. I learned so much from him, and he actually has always helped me so much. I'm just so thankful for
Yeah,
him.
you know, for me, being around a lot of those guys out there back in the 90s and knowing them for years and on different platforms, it would be a difficult pick for me because both of your picks were just unbelievable, and I can probably pick another 20 or 30 of my personal favorite experiences, people I looked up to as well. I'm Jason Couch's biggest fan, by the way, because he competed down here when we were in the same age bracket, and I had the opportunity to bowl when I could throw a ball back then and compete against him. But let's go to something. Let's shift a little bit in two directions. Aaron, I'll start with you. What would be your ultimate personal goal competitively in this sport, I guess? What would be the achievement you would like to see the most?
Sure. I mean, when I was younger, I wanted to bowl. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bowl for a living. But it's kind of shifted as I've gone through school.
Okay.
You know, I've kind of realized kind of my more personal goals, you know, financially and stuff,
Sure.
kind of what I want to achieve. And I don't really have that many goals in bowling. And it's kind of two-parted. It's kind of because, number one, I don't really know if I have a future in bowling, just objectively. And number two is there's just a lot of other things that I want to do.
Any tournaments you'd like to attain in case you did veer out, you know,
I mean,
and
I
go?
know
Because the next question was actually what were some of your academic goals as
I mean,
well?
I know when I was a kid, making Team USA was like, I ate it, I breathed it, I slept it. That was something I really wanted to do. And I bowled every opportunity I had. I got kind of close a couple of times, but just never got it done. But that was kind of my big lifetime achievement. I told myself once I did that, I'd be done.
Rock and roll, that's a pretty good goal. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we've had some Team USA members here, JJ, another fantastic bowler. Academically, kind of what are you pursuing? I mean,
I'm currently studying pre-law, and I'm actually about to submit my applications for law school.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations. Giorgio, I'm going to turn to you. What, if anything, in your sights from a competitive win or standpoint would you like to have before you kind of became 100 or stepped back and said, I'm done bowling?
Well, I was already part of the national team when I came here, but mostly my main goal was to get better.
Okay.
Just not to travel and do nothing. I just wanted to actually achieve something, but in a better, like higher level.
Mm-hmm.
Because we bowl down there, and it is actually pretty much a competition between Colombia, Mexico, Puerto Rico.
It's almost
Venezuela.
club bowling
It
for
is-
countries.
It is not many countries, but
Right.
when you go in a world standard, there are so many countries that are
Absolutely.
so good, like Korea, Finland, USA, Canada. So many countries that are so good that I really would like to first be part, like go to a world championship,
Like what's out in Vegas right
what
now.
is happening
Exactly,
right now in Vegas.
exactly.
I would like to go to a world championship and to actually have a good tournament, to perform really well. That will be my main goal.
I'll tell you, that's exciting events because I've been fortunate. I've been on the other side doing lanes at some of these over the years, and yeah, to watch 40 or 50 countries come together, both men and women, is just absolutely incredible. Let's shift academically.
Well, academically, right now I'm a junior. I'm studying hospitality.
All right.
I came here, I really didn't know what I was taking. I was studying accounting back home,
English.
as well as English. So that part I'm not really getting there. I'm getting better in English, but I was studying accounting, and I pretty much kind of like didn't finish it. I back home is 5 years to get a major,
Ah, gotcha.
and I go into fourth year, and I pretty much, because the whole situation, I just came here right away and I start from scratch.
Start over.
From over.
Wow, fantastic.
So I was like, I'm not taking accounting again.
That's a tough one. That's a tough
I'm not starting
business.
from scratch in accounting again. So I just went to hospitality. I'm really into bars and
Being around
hotels
people, yeah.
and you know how it is. Like I would like to pretty much like own certain things. Like I don't know, they're like kind of like long-term goals right now. So I'm not totally 100% sure what is going to be, right? But
Fantastic.
for now, I just get my degree and see how.
Hey,
it
and you
goes.
go from there. If I ever left Kegel, I could probably go into hospitality. I spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of nights in hotels in my career with them. So, all right. Is there anyone specifically, if you had an opportunity to thank today, we'll go to Giorgio on this one first, for what you've become in life, who would that be?
Wow, that's a really good question. Who, like, I have to pick one person?
Let me see how I worded the question. I said, who would you like to specifically thank? You could thank a group of people, actually.
Okay.
Just start with me.
I would like to do something like, I've had like an idea, like it has been like, it started like 2-3 years ago. My dad is like really good on it back in Venezuela, so I would like to kind of like follow a couple steps that he has done. He is like, I would like to own certain like land properties where you have like to rent and stuff.
So he's
like
been an
real
inspiration for you,
yeah,
pretty
so
much.
I would like to kind of like follow his steps in, like as a businessman wise. Like I think that he has accomplished a lot of things, and thanks to him, I'm here.
Excellent.
So I really would like to kind of like follow his steps.
So big thank you out to your father for
oh,
sure.
Yeah, and
then.
my mom and
your
my dad
mom.
has like I'm really thankful.
That's good, because if you started with Aaron before your parents, you're going to have a problem at the
Oh, yeah, for
holidays
sure.
when you get back
Front
home.
door would be locked.
Yeah, for sure.
Aaron, how about yourself? You had to pick a couple of people that have been instrumental in your life. I mean, who would you go with?
I mean, I've had coaches along the way. I mean, honestly, when I grew up, I just tried to learn as much as I could, and I bugged the hell out of some people. You know, just give me some of your time, help me out. You know, I'll do whatever I can. And you know, there were a lot of people, and they know who they are, obviously, that got me to where I am bowling wise. But it's really my parents. I mean, they've been so supportive. I mean, I only get home maybe once a year.
Wow.
And it's tough. I mean, obviously,
Absolutely.
I know it's tough for my parents, and it's really tough for me. But it's really them. I mean, without them, they have never told me I couldn't do anything. It was always, Mom, Dad, this is what I want to do, and they find a way to make it happen. And you can't repay that. I mean, it'll take my whole life to even minutely repay them for that, but it really means the world to me for them to allow me to really do whatever I want.
And that's wonderful. And that, to be honest with you, kudos. That's great parenting on both y'all's end. I mean, that's truly what turns out a product like yourselves. So, well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure. We're going to close this show out. But
Thank you.
Aaron, I want to thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you so
Giorgio,
much.
thanks again. I think you guys got to go down and go practice.
Yep, time
Actually,
to
I've taken up
practice.
enough of your
Yes.
time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate it. Listen, keep those wrenches turning, and have a wonderful day.